Kelli Nova, and if you've been following me all over the social network, you know that I just finished Steampunk Green Lantern! It's basically a decorative lantern that I got from Hobby Lobby. I painted it green and used copper and red paint to kind of distress it a little bit. Using a really cool painting method I learned from my mother, I made the glass stained glass, kind of. Fake stained glass. Here is how you can make your own stained glass. This method is traditionally used on household windows to make a stained glass effect, to add a little bit of to the house. I'm an interior decorator, can you tell? Using Plaid brand's gallery glass paint, you paint it directly onto the glass and it makes it look like stained glass. It's super cool. You first start out with what is called the liquid leading. So it basically looks like the metal pieces that go between the stained glass. Using the liquid leading, draw lines onto a piece of plastic, something that will let the lines come off of it. If you're not really good at drawing straight lines, then they also have some pre-made lines for you. I really suggest you get those. Grab your design and whatever object you're painting onto and put the design behind the glass. Take your dry lead lines and an Expo knife and cut the ends off. This is really kind of assuming that you don't have any globs in the middle of your lines. So if you have globs in the middle of your lines, cut around the globs because you don't want the globs in there. There you go! Now you have a nice little snake. And put it on your glass! Using the template as a guide, place the leading over the template lines and press down. I'm going to take my Expo knife and I'm going to cut right at the edge right there. And then place and start again. Continue that until you have your entire design covered with the lead lining. I have my design completely laid out with the lines, and now I'll take the liquid lead lining and fill in any gaps there might be between the joints. This is the most jankety Triforce I've ever seen. Probably not the best for an example, but I guess you get the idea. Now for the actual coloring! These colors come in all different kinds of colors, although I wish they had more than they actually sell in the store, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Ideally, you should use a toothpick to apply the paint. I don't have any toothpicks, but I do have enough straws than any one person could use in their entire lifetime, so I'm just gonna cut one of those up and use that. I'm just gonna cut it in half. To paint it, apply just a glob into the middle area and use your straw or toothpick or whatever else you're gonna use and gently just push it around. And I say gently because you definitely don't want any air holes in there. If you do get air holes, you can use a straight pin or sometimes a toothpick to pop those out. As you can see here, the paint is super yellow cloudy and basically that's how it dries. So it will dry clear, just it comes out real cloudy and kind of gross looking. The really cool thing about this paint is that it's really forgiving. If you mess up, if you color something the wrong color or it's not quite looking how you want, wait for it to dry, use an X-Acto knife, cut around the color, and just peel it off. And you can start anew. It's super forgiving. As you can see, the design is starting to dry already, and it's drying in varying degrees of opacity, which is pretty cool. The really cool part though is that once this dries, after a couple more hours, I'll be able to pull it off and use it as a window decal if I really want to. So not only can you stained glass effect things, you can also use the same method to make little window decals. I just want to give a shout out to my mom for, again, giving me a really cool craft that can be translated into cosplay. Just goes to show that any skill can be used and translated into cosplay. If you could stain glass anything in the entire world, what would you stain glass? I think I would stain glass effect the house from 13 Ghosts. That would be crazy pants. But then I think because of the stained glass, I would do it different on each panel, and then you'd be able to kind of tell where you are in a house maybe? Or you'd be able to at least tell that it changed. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, share with all of your cosplay, stained glass loving friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the Weird Girls YouTube channel where you can see more of my cosplay, Danny Danger talking about comic books, Jed Amanda talking about Disney and animation and Star Wars, Mark talking about everything else in between, and Zombie talking about games and playing games and just generally kicking butt in Dragon Age. Oh, and be sure to come say hi to me at Dragon Slayer Cosplay Symposium next weekend, this upcoming weekend, on the 14th and 15th. This upcoming weekend. Yeah.